Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and what a delight to have with us today Carrie Gordon Earll. She is the Vice President of Government Policy and Public Policy for Focus on the Family, where she leads a great team of people and provides expertise on a variety of subjects and a range of topics of social policies affecting, well, of course, life issues, marriage, religious freedoms. And, of course, Focus on the Family just does a great work around the board and everything that they do. Carrie, good to see you. How are you, my friend?
I am good, Perry. How are you?
Fine. Good to see you. You can't see me, but I can see you. You're looking good.
You know, it's amazing technology. I tell you, I love it.
It certainly is. Well, we want to go back to a week ago today, the 42nd anniversary of Roe versus Wade. And, of course, I don't know why we're tolerating this, but some of the numbers are encouraging, but it's still there. Why is this significant? Why was this last anniversary date significant?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, the people who understand what abortion is, that it not only kills the life of the preborn, but it often maims and injures the mother and affects the father as well. We look at this and go, why is this still going on? And after 42 years, you would think the pro-life movement would be dragging and tired and discouraged, and that's really not the case. It's kind of an interesting situation, because you would think after 40 plus years of legal abortion, the culture would be pro-abortion. And it really isn't. In fact, if anything, we continue to see the general public, it doesn't like abortion, it wants less of it, and it really doesn't tolerate this kind of more radical view of abortion that we've seen rule the day a lot in the last 4 decades. So I'm encouraged by that. I think it's significant, because, again, we are seeing so much activity. The March for Life last week in the nation's capital, while it didn't get a lot of mainstream coverage, huge crowd. A lot of young people are resonating with this pro-life message. We are continuing to see bumper crop numbers of state bills being introduced and being passed that limit and restrict abortion. So for the latitude that the U.S. Supreme Court has given to the states, a lot of states are really running with that. And these are laws that are common sense laws that really help women think twice about, is this what I want to be doing? And so it's encouraging on one hand to see that happening. You know, the pro-life movement would like to put itself out of business, and it'd be nice to do that in the next 10 years. I hope we'll have opportunity to do that. But in the meantime, this is a movement that has grown savvy and sophisticated in the very best sense in the use of technology, of micro-targeting, of getting voters to the polls. We saw that in the election in 2014. We have the most pro-life House and most pro-life Congress we've had in recent memory. So on one hand, yeah, it's discouraging to see a 42nd year, more than 53 million babies is the current count. But it is encouraging to see how the pro-life movement is continuing to push forward and how the public is responding well to that.
Well, I agree. I think we're encouraged. We're making progress, and the awareness is really significant. And you mentioned that just a few moments ago. We seemingly have had an encouraging turnover in Congress with the takeover of the House and the Senate with more pro-life people. However, they weren't able to produce a pro-life bill. The fact that they kind of shelved that. Do you know the politics behind that and why it happened?
Well, I know some of it. I'm not on the Hill, so I'm sure there's more that went on. The background is that leadership in the House had promised to bring a bill to the floor for a vote that had already been through committee. It's called the Pain Capable Unborn Child Protection Act. Mm-hmm. And what that law would do is it would forbid abortions after 20 weeks across the country. It would be a federal ban on abortion after 20 weeks. There are 10 states that have passed a similar bill, so it is on the books in some states. So this was to come for a vote on the 22nd, January 22nd, on the anniversary of Roe, the day all the pro-lifers were in D.C. Groups like Focus on the Family, we geared up. We told our constituents and friends, you got to call. People were calling their members. And then we found out late the night before that there were people who had been supporting that bill that were now arguing to make some changes in it at the last minute. So it was very disappointing. It was disappointing for us, for people across the country that had called. You ask what were the politics behind it. I can't really speak to that, but I can tell you that 2 of the female members in the House that have strong pro-life records, who not only voted for but co-sponsored the identical bill last time around, were now saying that they had problems with the reporting requirement for rape. That they didn't want it to be apparently that you had to inform law enforcement if you had been the victim of sexual assault. So why that became a 11th hour problem, I don't know, but it was very discouraging to the pro-life movement. Now, what happened instead was House leadership swapped out another bill, which was the taxpayer funding bill, which had 2 parts of it. The first part was it took federal appropriations riders like the Hyde Amendment that limit the use of taxpayer dollars for abortion. It would put that into the law, and it also tried to clean up some of Obamacare, because you'll remember when Obamacare passed in 2010, the president signed an executive order saying no public funds would be used for this. Well, that doesn't really apply based on, excuse me, how far into the stream Obamacare has gone. Really, Obamacare is the largest government funder, facilitator of abortion that we've seen in U.S. history. So this taxpayer bill that was passed by the House on the 22nd and headed to the Senate would clean a lot of that up and get the government out of the abortion funding business when it comes to health care. So there was a good outcome. It wasn't the outcome that people were hoping for, but we are optimistic that they are going to bring back that pain-capable bill. And again, this just shows you that politics can be fluid, and people get frustrated with this, Perry. I understand it. You vote for good people, you get them in office, they say they're going to do something, and then something happens. And it is the art of the unpredictable and the art of the imperfect. And so we need to keep our elected officials' feet to the fire, so to speak. We need to continue to encourage them to move on this.
Big question. Do you think we'll see the turnover of Roe versus Wade?
I do think so. I think we continue to move toward a day of that. But let me tell you what a key is going to be, and it's coming up quick, and that is the 2016 presidential election. Right. There is going to be just based on human nature and the political process, you're going to see some level of infighting in both parties for the nomination. I would encourage every pro-life person who votes in 2016 to look at those ballots through the lens of what kind of Supreme Court justices is this nominee going to appoint? Because right now the Supreme Court is aged. We're talking multiple members over 65 years of age, and the next president is going to appoint 1, 2, 3, who knows how many members. And we need a president who is going to appoint people that is going to look at that law, look at these laws, look at the Constitution as it was written, not as they want to interpret it. When we talk about overturning Roe, Perry, people need to understand all we need is one good case before the right court. You could have a parental notice case. You could have a defunding of abortion case. Before the right court, the court can overturn Roe and Doe, the 2 court rulings, with the right case. It just needs to be the right court. So 2016 and who becomes president is going to be key to overturning Roe. All
right, I only got a couple of minutes left and 2 big questions. I want you to speak to post-abortion syndrome, number 1, and number 2, any advice that you would have to a woman who's considering an abortion today?
Well, that's a huge turn, but let's do it because it is very important. And I will share with your viewers and listeners, excuse me, my experience as a young woman. I was a pastor's daughter attending a Christian school, became pregnant and had an abortion. And abortion was legal at the time. It had the government stamp of approval. There was really nothing along the process in 1981, when that was my experience, to make me stop or think twice about it. So I really am a supporter of the kinds of laws that would encourage a woman to get an ultrasound, to get good counseling, to find out information so she can make a decision that she lives with. In my experience, I finally came to terms with the fact that I had aborted my baby, and it was very difficult. There was a lot of regret. I was experiencing broken relationships, substance abuse. things that really are not uncommon for women when they start to deal after the abortion. And, abortion's sold to us as this is going to erase your problem. You won't be pregnant anymore. There's no aftermath. And that's simply not true for a lot of women. So I would say to a woman considering abortion, please get the facts. Know the fetal development. Look at the complications that you may experience when you go through this experience. And that if you've been through an abortion, talk to somebody. Call us here at Focus on the Family. Find a local pregnancy resource center that has counselors. I promise you there is hope and healing in Jesus Christ, and you can get to the other side of this.
Oh, Carrie, you're an inspiration and delight. Thank you, and thank you for all of you, what you do there at Focus on the Family. And let me just say to our viewers and listeners, you can go to FOTF.org, focusonthefamily.org, and take advantage of all of their resources there and support them. Thank you. Thank you for your passion. Let's keep in touch and keep fighting until we get this thing turned over.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the encouragement. It's our pleasure to partner with you. Thanks a lot.
God bless you. All right, we'll be right back.